To the participants who just joined us, please ensure after your name, please affix a term such as Pemerhati or Petugas if you're representing any of these roles, or any organizations like an NGO or a political party, or if there is none, just leave it as blank. Please ensure you write your full name to let everyone know we do take attendance of the Petugas and the Pemerhati candidates at Tindak Malaysia anytime. So to facilitate and to ensure that your attendance is taken, ensure your full name is also written together with the tagging of Petugas and Pemerhati. Thank you very much. We'll make a start around 1 or 2 minutes time. Good evening and selamat petang. My name is Danish. I'm the chairperson of Persatuan Bertindak Pilihan Raya Bebas dan Saksama, which is the society version of the Tindak course and also one of the co-partners of Tindak Malaysia Network Services PLT. As you know, this is the first time you are probably encountering the background logo of mine. That's the logo of the organization that has taken over this sort of webinars and programs. I would like to thank all of you for clearing your Monday night to talk about postal vote. As we know, the Sabah state election is coming very close, very soon, and we need to go through the different types of voting. But more importantly, this is not mere voter education per se. This is for especially for Petugas candidates, Pemerhati candidates, and those who are stakeholders in the process to learn this whole postal voting in depth. Before I introduce my speaker, allow me to share my screen. I will replace Suresh's share this for the moment. Okay, just to let you know, we are still in a transition phase of using the term Tindak and Tindak Malaysia. So most of uh, the social media links that we once used to advertise, you will actually notice their logos have changed, except for the YouTube. But for the key ones such as the Facebook, the X, the Instagram, the Telegram, we have already changed it to this logo. So currently it is jointly shared between the company and the society. I will drop this social media for links for all of you to follow. We are posting content every day. One is pertaining for the upcoming Sabah state elections, and the other one is also for the upcoming Sarawak redelineation. and any other topics of interest. Okay. And if you think that you have greatly benefited from the activities from this sort of webinars, I will drop this link so you can donate to the cause that we have so that we can continue this program. Okay. Now, let me stop sharing this one. And I'm going to share with you one more thing. I will introduce the speaker. Now, one of the things I will go through briefly. I hope everyone is able to see the screen. This we published it in our Facebook page. You can visit our Facebook page. Need not to worry. I will drop this link, all the links on on the Zoom chat. We have to understand the postal vote as four categories: category 1A, 1B, 1C, and also the absent voter. Okay, pengundi tidak hadir. Okay. Just to give you an idea very briefly, but I will not explain in detail, is like 1A is primarily those, especially those who are Petugas here. You have actually the privilege to be a domestic postal voter. And category 1A, it's like those who are Petugas Pilihan Raya, the military, the police, the EC officers, the media. They constitute easily more than 70 to 80%. In some cases, it's close to 100%, And then we have the category 1B, which is the overseas Malaysians. Then 1C is a select categories of government agencies, right? So you actually notice that 1A is outright dominance in this, in all the postal vote distribution. 1B varies based on the election and where it is located. The type of elections such as GE15 and the 6 state elections, or the location, like let's say Johor, Sepang, Jaram, and Pulai, right? Category 1C is a bit subjective because it's the presence of this this particular civil service. And absent voters, actually it's their handful, but in some cases their shares are a bit bigger, not because the count is bigger, it's just that other categories are pretty much non-existent. Now, where can I find this information? Allow me to share with you. I want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen right now. You can visit our Tindak Malaysia GitHub. It's where you can get extremely detailed election data in any forms. Then you can click on the postal vote data 2022 to 2025. We have compiled all the postal vote counts based on all the categories from G15 to Air Kuning. Okay, this is 2025. Once we get the Sabah state elections, this table will be updated. So please do visit our GitHub, those who are data-driven or those who wants to use our data. No need to sign up for accounts. You just find the option to press download, you get it, or you can just copy the whole thing. Okay, it is open for everyone. Okay, so this is some quick things, and let me. We have quite a number of participants who just joined, which is quite good. I'm happy to see that. For those participants who just joined, I would like to emphasize one thing. Please ensure your names are fully written. This followed by, do you represent, are you a Petugas? Are you a Pemerhati? Do you represent an organization, a political party? If none, then just leave it as blank. But if you are a Petugas, a Pemerhati, or any organization, after your name, put a bracket. Attendance will be taken anytime. So please stay out through the whole session until the session comes to an end. Okay, I will be introducing our speaker. Our speaker is Suresh Kumaran, who is our deputy chairperson for the Persatuan Bertindak Pilihan Raya Bebas and Saksama, has been with the Tindak movement, if I'm not mistaken, 2009. But his experience in the realm of elections probably even dated even before that. He has served as a Ketua Tempat Undi 5 times, a record number in different settings across Peninsula Malaysia. He has an extensive experience in the world of postal vote and realms of conduct of elections, including early vote. So without further ado, I call upon Suresh to present. Suresh can either present in English or Bahasa Malaysia. For question and answer, we can do both English and Bahasa Malaysia. So jangan segan untuk menanya soalan dalam Bahasa Malaysia. Tanpa melengah-lengahkan masa, saya bagi uang kepada Encik Suresh.
Hi, thank you, Danish. Salam sejahtera semua. Danish, just a quick check. Is my audio okay?
Very clear.
Right, thank you. Salam sejahtera semua dan selamat malam. Saya Suresh daripada Persatuan Tindak. Persatuan Tindak ni baru lagi lah. Sebelum ni kami dikenali sebagai Tindak Malaysia lah. So Tindak Malaysia ni kami dah start sejak 2008. Saya join dalam awal 2009. So sekarang kami ada satu entiti yang bukan nak cakap baru pun bukanlah, semua member pun lama lagi. So I'm gonna do my presentation mix bahasa and English. So kalau katakan ada yang tak faham, tolong 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 message dalam chat, update dalam chat sama ada saya atau saudara Danish akan update kepada saya lah untuk apa yang nak saya temukan. So topic for today, we're going to talk about Undi post. Basically, those who have joined my Undi post webinars is the same, just that updated some informations on the dates and stuff on it. Other than that, it's all the same. So let's talk about Undi post, or we call it in English postal voting. Okay, kita akan cerita pasal background, who, what, when, how, and the past and the complications that we go through and everything. So, saya tak pasti, tapi ada yang sebahagian daripada sini pernah menjadi pengundi pos. Saya akan jelaskan, tadi saudara Danish has explained that there are 4 categories of pengundi pos. I will go to that. I will explain a bit more detail on who are the categories, what are the categories and who are the people under the subcategories. So, before I proceed, my source of info, sorry, my source and info is basically based on experience handling Undi post. I've been doing Pacha since 2004. So, I mean, of course, once you do a Pacha, once you get involved in election, you learn about Undi post along the way. So, my main source actually came from ex-Mantan Tebrau. Mantan Tebrau is Stephen Chong. He was my guru and shared and taught me a lot about the Undi post. Then, of course, from SPR. And of course, among us in Tindak Malaysia lah. Ramai cakap undi post is actually very complicated. Actually, undi post is not complicated. It's just that undi post banyak proses. Sangat-sangat banyak proses. And melibatkan banyak, dia nak cakap, I want to say a lot of people, actually not that many people, because I'll probably say undi post, like, ini, what, represents few percent of the total voters of the whole country. But those has plenty of categories and a lot of paperwork. But once you understand the process, it's actually quite straightforward and it's actually quite easy. Okay, so who are the people who are qualified to become a pengundi post? Okay, orang-orang yang disebut dalam perenggan 1A dan C yang tidak boleh mengundi, sama ada pengundi awal atau mengundi pada hari biasa, mereka layak. Dan orang-orang yang disebutkan dalam 1A dan 1C di mana diluluskan sebagai pengundi pos. So I know lately a lot of things been spoken about, yang apa, especially this PRN Sabah. Can we allow, or can SPR allow, or the election, can they allow those who have been outside of Sabah, can they become a pengundi post? I'll touch that later also. And paling common skepticism, which is up to recent election, banyak yang mengatakan, oh, kertas undi pos lain daripada kertas undi pada undi awal atau undi biasa. Tidak, sama sekali tidak benar. Kertas undi, sekiranya anda sebagai pengundi pos dan anda mengundi salah satu bahagian kawasan DUN di Sabah nanti, kertas undi yang anda terima adalah sama dengan kertas undi yang digunakan pada hari pilihan raya. Okay. Seterusnya, sekejap mute this. I can't please minimize this. Alright. So, implementation. So, tata cara pelaksanaan pengundi pos. Okay. Segala perjalanan pengendalian undi pos ada permohonan. Mula-mula sekali permohonan akan dijalankan. Kita ni cerita pasal undi pos saja, kita tak cerita pasal undi lain. Okay. So, kena ada permohonan untuk undi pos. Dan selepas permohonan tu dah bermula sekarang, okay, website pun dah buka. Anda boleh pergi ke website tersebut. Anda boleh pergi ke SPR dan boleh klik pada ni permohonan, mereka ada tata cara nak memohon. Dan anda boleh tengok siapakah kategori-kategori yang tapi di SPR punya website hanya ada 3 kategori saja. 1A, 1B dan 1C. Manakala absent voter atau pengundi yang tidak hadir Tak, itu automatic. Itu nanti saya akan explain macam mana. Kedua, pihak SPR yang dilantik akan membuat persiapan untuk penamaan calon. Lepas tu, masuk pada hari penamaan calon. Hari ni penamaan calon, besok kertas undi sudah keluar untuk pengundi pos. So, ramai kata, oh, undi pos lambat apa? Dulu memang lambat. Dulu proses tata cara pengendalian ejen-ejen yang dilantik untuk mengendalikan kertas undi, maybe back then the resources tak banyak. Tapi kali ni sangat banyak sampai mereka boleh gunakan courier untuk hantar undi pos sampai ke luar negara. Saya ada dapat info di mana kat luar negara pun dalam 3-4 hari dah dapat kertas undi. Okay. So, kalau katakan hari ni penamaan, besok kertas undi ada akan keluarkan. So, macam mana mereka boleh terus dapat kertas undi? Hari ni penamaan, terus dapat nama-nama calon, terus hantar buat printing, kertas undi yang akan digunakan untuk kawasan masing-masing, terus akan keluar pada sama ada hari yang sama atau hari kebesokan hari pagi besoknya. Okay. Tapi tak semestinya hari ni penamaan, besok keluar kertas undi. Kadang-kadang tengok keadaan dan tengok complication dalam segi logistik. Okay, kadang-kadang biasanya yang paling common yang saya dapati, hari ni penamaan, besok kertas undi untuk undi pos dah keluar. Kadang-kadang ada juga hari ni penamaan, 2 hari lepas tu baru keluar kertas undi pos. Tapi sekarang proses dah sangat-sangat laju. It's quite fast. Okay. Then comes to persiapan dan semakan peti undi. Hari mengundi awal. Hari mengundi awal ni few days before election. Persiapan simakan isi peti undi awal, pemantauan kempen, pengeluaran kertas undi pos. Terbalik. I already went the other way around. So, kertas undi, pengeluaran kertas undi pos. Okay. Pemantauan kempen, persiapan simakan peti undi, hari undi awal, persiapan simakan peti undi biasa, dan hari mengundi. Penerimaan pembukaan undi pos, pengiraan undi dan penjumlahan rasmi. Okay. So, yang rasmi ni maksudnya main tally center lah, yang paling last sekali. Alright, sekejap. Okay, saya cerita satu C dulu. Okay, sorry. Saya cerita satu A. Satu A, tadi saudara Danish pun dah maklumkan, has the highest number of pengundi pos in respective constituency or state. Highest. Who are they? Anggota tentera yang tidak dapat menghadiri pada hari mengundi awal. Anggota tentera don't come for hari mengundi biasa. They only come for hari mengundi awal or they become postal voter. But if they cannot come for pengundi awal, they may become pengundi pos. Anggota polis termasuk pergerakan am, PJA yang tidak dapat hadir pada hari mengundi awal. These are the people who are posted. These are the people posted on election day. Hence, they can't vote on election day. Okay. Anggota ahli dan pegawai kaki tangan SPR. Okay. C ini antara yang paling banyak sekali. Okay. 1A-C, highest number of pengundi pos. So, who are they? These are the people who are being appointed by RO. RO being appointed by SPR. Then RO will appoint petugas SPR. Ramai, sangat-sangat ramai. Mereka ada kerani, mereka ada PPP, pengurus logistik, KTM, kerani-kerani untuk mengadakan segala urusan yang berhubung kait dengan pengundian. So, mereka lah yang paling tinggi sekali. Okay. D, petugas media. This is something was introduced in 2013. Okay. Medias who are covering on election day can apply. Okay. Can apply to become pengundi pos. Must apply, not automatic. Okay. Petugas pilihan raya yang dilantik oleh SPR termasuk petugas-petugas kesihatan yang bertugas di khemah bergejala di pusat-pusat mengundi. Issue of bergejala is not as severe as before, but from what I've seen, they still allocate some medical personnel at certain areas for assisting voting and stuff, something like that. Okay. So, category 1A is not automatic. Okay, 1A is not automatic. Regardless, you be working, you akan bertugas untuk SPR atau sekian mana-mana pun, you still have to apply. The website is been open, you can apply. Okay, if you become petugas SPR or you report to RO and everything, the RO will handle your application. Most of the time is done manually. I need to ask later those who became petugas recently for the upcoming Sabah state election. have you went through the training and have you been asked to apply online or have been applied manually? If you guys can answer that, maybe can post it in the chat group, please. Thank you. Now we come to 1C. Okay. 1C, before I explain who are the people, 1C are the people who can't vote on undi biasa. Not undi awal, undi biasa. 1C people, they cannot vote for undi awal. Undi awal only for few categories sahaja. Category 1C is those who can't vote on undi biasa but have to serve. A. Jabatan Penjara Malaysia. B. Jabatan Kesihatan. C. Immigration. Immigration, not only this one, immigration airport ke apa ke, immigration have to work 24/7. Okay. Sukaryawan Simpanan Polis, Angkatan Pertahanan Awam, APM, Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara. Okay, immigration, this is falls under immigration. These are the people who work in IC department especially. A lot of people, banyak terkejut, a lot of people are surprised. IC department actually is open on election day. Okay. Yes, I know most of the UTCs now open 24/7, but certain areas they don't open on weekends. On election day special, buka. Okay. And Jabatan Bomba, Agensi Penguatkuasaan Maritim, Agensi Pengurusan Bencana Negara, NADMA, and lastly, SCSB or TNB. Okay, for coming election in Sabah later, so you're going to have both SCSB and TNB. So these are 1C. Again, not automatic, still have to apply. All right. Then last, not say last, second last, but this is the best. This is what I like the most. Category 1B, online application. This is from those days till now. Overseas voters. Those voters who are residing overseas, either working or studying or accompanying someone who's studying or working there, he or she qualifies to become overseas voter. These people, you guys have to be a bit more, what do you call, responsive. Online portal is open. Please go register as soon as possible. Okay? Don't wait to the 11th hour. We Malaysians tend to tunggu, tak apa, nanti kita boleh buat. Don't. Just go get it done. So 1B. All right? But 1B, numbers of 1B actually is not that much compared to 1A and 1C. So these are the fourth category that Danish mentioned. Pengundi tidak hadir or registered via SPR absent voters. So who are these absent voters? Kaki tangan awam yang berkhidmat di luar negara. Okay, these are people who are working overseas under the government, not private companies. Anything to do with government-related jobs. Okay, could be embassy or could be any special department who are there for special projects and stuff who are under the government. Most of the time is under the government salary lah. Spouses to those who are working overseas, husband or wife. Okay, suami isteri kepada kaki tangan awam berkhidmat di luar negara. Okay, students, any students who are also studying overseas, they are automatic. But okay, I explain socially how the automatic thing works. Spouses to those who are studying overseas. Okay. Question people ask, what about those studying in Thailand or studying in Indonesia or studying in Singapore? Yes, they are also registered as absent voters. So item C and D, when you are overseas studying, you have to go and apply to SPR, show your proof that you will be studying at which country and what universities and so and so. Then the SPR will update in their system, registering you as absent voters. So let's say you are in overseas for the next 6 or 7 years doing your studies and so on and so on and thing. Every time elections that relates to your area, you will become automatic absent voters. So you don't need to go and apply. You don't have to go to the EC website to register as a postal voter. You will be receiving the postal vote, but make sure you update your address. All right. What if those dah habis belajar, sudah balik? Please come back and go to SPR. If you don't do, most likely your ballot paper will be posted to your last known address where you studied last time. So I heard quite a couple of cases of that. So to be safe, balik Malaysia, terus pergi SPR, update, saya sudah habis belajar, saya sudah kembali kepada tanah air, so saya bukan lagi absent voter. Alright. Okay, so upcoming Sabah state election, registration for postal voter category 1A, B, and C is on 13th of November. Sorry, I think I tersilap. I think sorry, 13th of October. Minta maaf. Let me just correct that very quickly. Minta maaf tuan-tuan puan-puan. Meanwhile, any questions you guys have, please ask in the chat. Whenever we can, we'll respond to it, please. Thank you. Okay.
Participants, you can drop the questions, but we will have a designated time for Q&A.
Okay, I'm back. All right. So, as of, I think what's the date today? So almost 2 weeks ago, open to register as a postal voter is already out. Please do so. Why not just go in and just check it out? Can you become, and especially those who are Petugas who's going to be serving in upcoming PRN Sabah, please go and check. And also please ask your ROs. Is yours manual or go through the website? Have to go through the website. Okay, there's something new that we also came up upon because prior to all this, petugas-petugas yang bertugas untuk pilihan raya yang akan datang-datang, termasuk yang pilihan raya kecil semua, masih menggunakan borang manual. Tapi kali ini kami dapati ada website untuk 1A, 1B dan 1C. So tolong cek. Jangan tunggu. Kalau RO diam, tanya dekat dia. Okay, tanya dekat dia terus. Pada petugas yang akan datang untuk PRN Sabah ni, perlu masuk online ke atau kena buat manual? Tolong tanya jangan tunggu-tunggu Okay. Then pengurusan sampul undi post before nomination. Ni saya akan terangkan kejap lagi. Pengurusan pengantaran undi pos selepas penamaan calon. Dalam kes ni penamaan calon adalah 15 November. So kemungkinan besar 16 atau 17 November undi pos akan dikeluarkan dan dihantar terus. Pengurusan penerimaan undi pos selepas sahaja pengeluaran dah dikeluarkan, dah habis, katakan KK. Keluaran biasa 1 hari akan siap. Untuk pengeluaran ni biasa 1 hari akan siap. 15 hari bulan tu dah katakan 15 hari bulan tu penamaan, 16 tu pengeluaran. Katakan pengeluaran tu habis dalam pukul 5 petang. 5.01 dah boleh terima. Macam mana boleh terima saya akan explain. Okay. Pengurusan penerimaan undi pos boleh terima sehingga 5 petang 29 November. Okey. 5 petang ni saya kena check balik sebab yang pilihan raya sebelum ni ada sedikit perubahan masa dari segi penggiraan. Okey. So yang ni bagi kami check, tapi dalam praktis normalnya 5 petang hari pilihan raya. Walaupun pilihan raya tutup pukul 6, biasa Sabah Sarawak dia akan tutup setengah jam lebih awal lah, lebih 5.30. So yang ni 5 petang atau mungkin 5.30 petang atau mungkin 4.30 petang. Yang ni kita kena check dulu sebab kami tak dapat apa info daripada SPR. Dan pengiraan undi pos 6 petang atau mungkin di Sabah mungkin 5.30. Warta tak keluar lagi saya kena check dulu. So yang ni mungkin lepas penamaan nanti kita akan tahu dia punya opening dan closing. Okey. Pengiraan undi pos biasanya akan dilaksanakan pada hari pilihan raya tersebut. Biasanya akan dibuat selepas penutupan semua saluran di seluruh Pemerhati. So dalam kes ni 29 November lah di mana hari pilihan raya tersebut. Alright. Okey. Sekarang kita masuk pada penggunaan dan dokumen yang terlibat. Okey. Kepada those who have involved in elections, either you as a pacha or as a petugas or as an agent to the candidate or even candidate themselves, you are probably familiarized with the Form 13. Form 13 is where a form used that how many ballot papers you received and how many ballot papers has been used and how many ballot papers unused or spoiled during the election process. Okay. Then you have the chop. So every ballot paper, those who have voted, okay, you notice when you receive your ballot paper, you will have the stamp or the chop. Okay. So you notice here, there's a stamp. So this is the sample stamp. Every saluran has a unique number. For undi post pun ada unique number. Not every undi post. So if you're in Kimanis or then you're in KK, your serial number won't be the same. It will be different. Okay, so it's a unique number. The stamp template semua sama, nombor-nombor saja lain. Pada masa yang sama, katakan di KK juga, semua saluran, semua nombor siri dia lain-lain. So undi post lain, nombor saluran masing-masing pun lain-lain. Okay, so you have a unique stamp. And yang last kali, ini sangat penting. Senarai-senarai pengundi pos akan dipecahkan. Okay, satu A, satu B, satu C dan satu A pun dia akan pecahkan. Satu B pun dia akan pecahkan, satu C biasa tak pecah lah. Tapi dalam kes ni, pengendalian undi pos, form 13 atau borang 13 is not used at all. Completely no. So what they'll have ballot papers cukup untuk jumlah pengundi pos, and they will assume all the ballot papers has been issued. Why they're not using Form 13 at the end of the day? Good question. Can ask any SPR officer that you guys ask next time, because I've been asking that a lot. So, next slide. Then, untuk daftar pemilih. Daftar pemilih means electoral roll for pengundi pos. Alright? You won't get per saluran, you will get per state seat or per state constituency. Okay? Inside here, it will break down, okay, the categories and the subcategories. And of course, here they will break down by the serial numbers and everything lah. Okay, not serial number, sorry. Nombor kad penalan atau nombor anggota. Okay, Army and Police will have their own. They will have their nombor anggota. Okay. So all this proses ni dibuat sebelum penamaan calon. Kenapa buat sebelum penamaan calon? Ini untuk mereka prepare dulu. Okay, mereka prepare dulu senarai-senarai ni sebab yang ni semua ada tari tutup tau. Okay, kalau tuan-tuan puan-puan nampak dekat sini. Okay, tari tutup 1A 12 November, 1B 21 Oktober, 1C 21 Oktober. So 1B dengan 1C dah lama tutup lah. So those last minute, I minta maaf, your closing was already, your application sudah tutup. Petugas 12 November. Kadang-kadang untuk 1A ni kemungkinan dia akan delaykan lagi sebab in past our experience as when we became petugas, okay, we notice RO can appoint X number of petugas. Tapi bila mereka buat preparation menghampiri pada tarikh pilihan raya, kadang-kadang ada petugas berhenti atau petugas tarik diri atas isu-isu masing-masing. Maka RO need to find replacement. So when RO find replacement, the RO will accept application for the new staff to become pengundi pos. Tapi ikut kawasan masing-masing. They also have time delay. Normally mereka akan stop just before nomination day. Okay, so dalam case ni nomination 15, kat sini 12 November. So mungkin mereka stop pada 14 or 13, not sure. Okay? But definitely lepas nomination tak akan terima lagi lah. Let me find out to remove this. It's automatic. Fine. Finally. Okay. So I already explained this part. Okay. So both SPR and agent will have senarai daftar pemilih. Bila akan dapat senarai daftar pemilih? Pada hari penamaan calon atau wakil calon atau kedua-duanya will receive daftar pemilih for all form of category from undi pos, undi awal, undi biasa. Tetapi untuk kategori 1A, SPR dan ejen akan terima mungkin pada last minute pun ada. Okay? Atau mungkin selepas 3-4 hari pun ada sebab ada application lambat. Bila application lambat, RO akan update senarai tu mungkin akan bagi lepas 3-4 hari. Okay, proses tu complicated sikit, so I'm not gonna touch that part because I handle 3 postal vote for general elections. It's actually quite a bit complicated on how they handle that, but nevertheless, it was handled properly. Okay, then SPR means petugas. Okay, they will have their own breakdown senarai. So you ada tentera, polis, petugas. Ada macam-macam lagi senarai lah. Just do a quick check. Okay. So then, setiap senarai atau sub senarai, macam dalam kes ni tentera, polis, petugas, media dan manakala bagi mereka yang kelas 1B ni, okay, mereka akan buat pecahan. So mereka akan start isi sampul-sampul semua. Okay. Ada jumlah 3 sampul bila anda terima nanti. 3 sampul ingat akan terima 3 sampul. So setiap pengundi pos akan menerima sejumlah 3 sampul. Okay, saya akan explain. So setiap ni mereka akan buat preparation. Okay. Mereka akan tulis nama penerima, alamat, cop, semua mereka akan tulis. Yang ni mereka akan sediakan just before the nomination. They won't do it on nomination because on nomination day, everything goes loose. Alright, so probably they will do it as moment approved list mereka dah dapat, mereka akan buat satu-satu, mereka akan buat pecahan. Undi post management these days are very, very efficient compared to a couple of elections. So, no need to worry about that. Alright. So, how they do? Okay. So, this one, kita masuk bahagian pengeluaran. Pengeluaran mean after nomination, RO has received the ballot papers, so they do pengeluaran. So, in this case, there will be 4 keranis. This is proposed by SPR. RO kadang-kadang yang lebih experience, mereka ada cara mereka masing-masing. And I notice, those are experienced ROs who handle pengundi post, they've handled very fast and very efficient. Okay, I've been to an election where they had 2,000 over pengundi posts. They handled it less than a day. They got it done. So it's how efficient they are these days. So it all depends. But what I'm sharing to you is a proposed SPR method. Kerani 1, kerani 2, kerani 3, kerani 4. Kerani 1, pembaris dan pen. Kerani 2, pembaris, pen, kertas, tak ada pen, sorry. Pembaris, kertas undi, cop. Kerani 3, pen dan sampul-sampul yang berkenaan. Kerani 4, kerja dia bungkus. Dia tolong tutup semua sampul. Dia tutup satu sampul sajalah. Okay. Lepas tu kedudukannya, seperti di bawah sini. PPP undi post. RO will appoint one ARO. Okay, PPP means penolong pegawai pengurus. In English, we'll call assistant returning officer. Will appoint one specific pengundi ARO just to handle pengundi post. Tengok berapa jumlah kertas undi untuk post keluar. So you got kerani 1, kerani 2, kerani 3, kerani 4. Then agent undi post. Okay. Pada mereka yang those who are representing the candidate, please make sure your documentations are clear. Okay, that one will come to the other segment. Alright. Okay. So, you will be asking, kalau katakan, saya punya don ada dekat 1,000 lebih. Macam mana satu meja ni boleh settle 1,000, 2,000 lebih dalam satu hari? Okay, SPR recommends to prepare many groups. Okay, many groups. Each group handle maximum of 300. Kadang-kadang tempat-tempat yang mereka banyak pengalaman, 1, 2, 3 handle polis. 3, 4 handle askar. 5 handle media. Overseas biasa tak banyak. So 1 atau 2 saja. Lepas tu yang lain-lain tu untuk kategori 1B. Ikut keadaan masing-masing. So at the same time, agent calon kena prepare banyak tu. Tapi biasanya tuan-tuan dan puan, proses, kalau macam saya bagi tahu tadi, banyakkan RO, ARO yang berpengalaman mereka sangat laju. So biasanya mereka akan minta, tak apa, you hantar satu agent cukup. You duduk saja mana-mana, you perhatikan cara kami buat. These days, undi posts are more transparent compared to what we have heard or we have heard hearsays or so on before that. Alright. So this is how sometimes 2,000 or 3,000 undi posts can be settled in one day for pengeluaran, meaning issuing. Danish, am I on time or am I too fast or too slow?
So far, okay, but maybe try to wrap up in 10 minutes. Is that okay?
10 minutes a bit susah. Let me try.
Maybe 15 minutes.
I'll try. Alright. So, kerani 1, kerani 2, kerani 3. Kerani 1, teriak nama, bagi tahu what the voter's name. Kerani 2 will tear out the ballot paper and stamp. Kerani 3 will fill up. Okay, I already mentioned, all these forms or envelopes already pre-filled. What do they actually fill? Okay, let me show you. Okay. Kerani 3, this one the job a bit susah sikit. Okay, Kerani 3, moment he or she receives the ballot paper from Kerani 2, okay, he or she has to write down the serial number of the ballot paper on sampul. Okay, so which sampul is that? Okay, it'll be sampul A. Okay, then the same serial number also be written on borang 2. Okay, so again, kerani this be complicated lah. Kerani 3, kertas undi yang terima akan catatkan nombor siri kertas undi pada sampul A dan pada borang 2. Okay, tugas ni kadang-kadang kelang kabut sikit sebab dia kena tengok nombor ni, dia isi tapi dia tak masuk dalam sampul. Yang jadi lebih kelang kabut dekat kerani nombor 4. Kerani 4 kena lipat kertas undi masuk dalam sampul A. Lepas tu sampul A bersama-sama dengan borang 2 yang dah dilipat, dia masuk dalam sampul B. Lepas tu dia ambil tiga-tiga dokumen ni yang dah masuk pada sampul masing-masing, dia masuk kat sampul keutamaan. Okay. So kerani 4 tugas dia sangat-sangat kelang kabut. Walaupun di pengalaman tengok time, tengok masa, tengok penerimaan, kadang-kadang dia pun boleh termiss. Sebab satu kadang-kadang kita pernah dengar isu kertas undi yang pengundi pos terima, nombor siri tak sama pada sampul A dan pada borang tu. Jangan risau. Problem kecil saja, bukan problem besar. Boleh mengundi lagi. Macam mana nak betulkan, saya akan explain. Alright. Sejurus selepas tu, okay, selepas habis pengeluaran, okay, pada contoh P196 stampin, borang 7 SPR 7754, SPR RO akan tulis, okey, kami dah keluarkan untuk tentera 500, polis 200, PGA 100, petugas pilihan raya 500, akan tambah lagi satu kategori. Overseas ada berapa? Alright. Boleh, okey. Ini dah selesai, dah keluar semua baru buat borang ni. Bila borang ni dah keluar, dah sign, penerimaan boleh terima. Macam mana boleh terima? Okey, saya turun lagi. Alright. Okey. So, katakan siap penerimaan pada 16 hari bulan, dah hantar semua. Kadang-kadang, mereka yang uruskan semua kertas undi ni, kebanyakan mereka ni, yang petugas ni, pun pengundi pos juga. So, mereka akan diberi melalui tangan oleh ARO atau PPP. Ini kertas, ini sampul keutamaan kamu. Mereka tak akan bagi kertas undi saja, mereka akan bagi dalam bentuk sampul keutamaan. Di mana sampul keutamaan ada sampul B dan sampul A, ada borang tu dan borang kertas undi dalam sampul A. Mereka kebiasaannya beri pakai tangan dan petugas-petugas bolehlah terima sampul keutamaan, buka sampul tu, mereka mengundi dan terus masukkan. Alright. Tata cara pemasukan. Okay. Bila terima, okay, ini hari penerimaan. Itu cakap, selepas keluar saja boleh terima sampai hari pilihan raya. Okay. Bila terima, mereka buat satu proses. So biasa akan ada satu kotak undi atau peti undi yang disediakan untuk penerimaan. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, you can walk in and vote. You can walk in and drop your sampul 2. Sampul B. Alright. So, kadang-kadang, sometimes this process, when this ballot box is full, RO will extra rajin a bit. They want to speed up the process. Moment full, they will seal this ballot box. They will put the new ballot box in. The sealed ballot box with the full sample, okay, meaning the sample B. Inside sample B will have borang 2 and sample A and kertas undi. So they will do the management. Ditolak atau diterima. So macam mana ditolak diterima? Okay. Contoh, okay, borang 2. Borang 2 ada nombor siri. Okay, tadi kertas undi sampul A pun ada nombor siri, sampul borang 2 pun ada nombor siri. Kadang-kadang bila petugas SPR bila mereka masukkan kertas undi ni semua ni, mungkin tersalah masuk. Dia dah terima banyak-banyak, mungkin masa sekarang tu ada problem sikit, dia terima, mungkin dia terima 2-3 kertas undi dan sampul banyak-banyak, dia tersalah masuk sampul, tersalah masuk sampul dengan nombor kertas undi dengan borang tu atau sampul A. Macam as I explained before, it's not a big problem. If you receive a ballot paper the serial number differs than any other serial numbers from your sample A or your borang 2, don't worry. You can make correction. Do not correct anything on the ballot paper. Kertas undi jangan dibetulkan. Kertas undi is true. Tuan-tuan, puan-puan, you can correct your borang 2 and your sample A. Potong saja, write the correct one. No problem. Bukan satu masalah dunia. Masalah kecil saja. Okay? Kebiasaannya pihak petugas akan terima sebab mereka pun faham. Mungkin mereka tersalah hantar, tersalah masuk. Alright? So please copy your serial number, cut this off or just correct the number. Betulkan saja. Tapi make sure you betulkan dengan jelas. Alright. Pada masa yang sama. Okay? Ini termasuk pada semua kategori pengundi 4 kategori tersebut. Ikut arahan. Please follow instruction. If you don't follow any of these instructions, your ballot paper can be rejected. Most of the time, why pengundi post ballot paper kena reject? Sebab salah isi borang tu. It's not because ballot paper tersalah pangkal, what? No. If you notice it, a lot of instruction there. Nama pengundi, nama besar, huruf besar. Kalau you buat small capital, potentially can be rejected. Because people say, alah, small mistake, what, this one cannot, what, this one, you see, if the agent suspects your ballot paper voting for someone else, the agent may bring up a protest saying that, mana boleh terima? Sini sudah tulis huruf besar, dia tulis huruf kecil. Okay. Tanda tangan pengundi, kad pengenalan. Okay. Bertarikh saksi. Okay. Pun dalam huruf besar, tanda tangan saksi, nama penuh dalam capital letter dan alamat. Ada beberapa ketika dulu saya ditegur. Dia kata kena pakai alamat terakhir. Tapi bila saya tanya kebanyakan ejen-ejen yang pernah menjadi ejen pos pun banyak juga yang reject alamat tak match. Sebab IC kadang-kadang you duduk dekat luar negara tapi alamat you letak luar negara tapi dalam alamat IC. So to be safe, you can either put your last known address, alamat terakhir atau di mana anda menetap sekarang atau alamat dalam IC. Dua-dua pun boleh. No problem. Dan kad kenalan. Alright. So ini contoh. Okay. Ini contoh. Okay. Sebab saya masa dah tak mengizinkan. Saya bagi laju-laju sikit lah. Okay. Kadang-kadang saya pun ada dengar cerita. Agent reject borang tu sebab kenapa? Tulisan pengundi dengan tulisan saksi sama. So dia kata dia sendiri saksi, dia sendiri mengundi. Logik juga. Tapi kita pun tak boleh nak bezakan, mungkin dua orang berdua ni tulisan dia sama. So can be accepted lah, that you ask me, because you need, by law you need to have a saksi, and the saksi has to be someone who's not assigned that same ballot paper. Alright. So you may screenshot this. I'm just gonna go very fast on this. I don't know why all my format lari. Okay. So boleh kena reject. Nama tak tulis dengan penuh. Pen yang digunakan kadang-kadang dia tak ink tak berapa cantik. Tarikh tak logik. Okay. Tarikh incomplete. Ini pun saya pernah dengar cerita orang pernah reject. Dia tulis hari dengan bulan saja, tahun tak tulis. Okay. Well, memang you can tell me, oh, this one why so tedious, why this one. You must understand, a lot of agents out there are looking at probably these are the ballot paper not for them. They don't know who you voted for, they won't know, but they may reject this thinking that they know who you voting. Okay, mereka takkan tahu siapa anda undi, langsung tak tahu. Tapi mereka ada hak untuk bantah. Okay, mereka ada hak nak bantah. Even though you say, alah, kecil-kecil punya hal. Sorry to say, kadang-kadang orang macam tu. Alright, you are not there. Okay. Okay, Harrington sama, nombor kertas undi tak match. Ni. Ini kadang-kadang kami jumpa, tapi bagi saya bukan satu masalah besar. Betulkan sahaja di borang 2 dan di sampul A. Okay. Kemudian, semua dah masuk dalam peti undi, mereka akan masukkan kertas undi tu. Kertas undi tu dimasukkan bersama-sama dengan sampul A. So, masa pemeriksaan semua ni, sampul A tak buka tau. Sampul A mengandungi will contain your ballot paper. They don't open sampul A. They only will check this one first. Check your borang tu. Borang tu pass. Then only they will take the sampul A masuk the peti undi second process. Okay. They masuk all second process and everything. Also again, some RO banyak rajin. Dia nak cepat. Dia tak nak tunggu pada last minute nak buka semua ni. So, After borang tu dah masuk pada dokumen tray, okay, dalam kes ni, borang tu dah ada dokumen tray borang tu. Yang peti undi kat sini ni hanya masuk sampul A saja, bukan kertas undi masuk sampul A dengan yang ada kertas undi. Lepas tu bila sampul A punya peti undi dah penuh, terus mereka jalankan lagi satu proses. Kerani kan keluar kertas undi, sampul A. Lepas tu kerani keluarkan kertas undi daripada sampul A dan dia akan intip. Intip means spy. Spy dalam cara tidak menampakkan siapa yang dipangkar. Tapi bila dah masuk sini dah tak tahu dah siapa undi siapa. So mereka akan intip atau spy adakah nombor siri sama nombor sampul A dengan kertas ballot. Again, kalau sampul A nombor siri lain boleh betulkan. Jangan betulkan kertas undi, betulkan sampul A. Okey, sama. Kertas undi ni akan masuk dalam peti undi yang set ketiga pula. Okay, sama. Terus reject. Chop ditolak, terus reject, tak terima. Alright. Kemudian SPR buka balik. Ini biasa akan terima dalam proses sebelum-sebelum ni pada hari pilihan raya selepas jam 5 petang, di mana semua penerimaan kertas undi stop. Lepas 5 petang, kertas undi tak boleh terima pada hari pilihan raya. Semua tutup kedai. Okay. So mereka akan isi di bahagian yang diterima balik. So ini contoh. Alright. Tapi yang ni saya kena confirmkan balik. Kami nak tunggu pada hari pilihan raya ada tak warta baru tata cara penerimaan tu. Alright. So mereka akan isi dokumen-dokumen yang sedemikian. Borang 754. Okay, yang tadi tu berapa yang dikeluarkan, berapa yang diterima. Lepas tu mereka akan buat pecahan. Okay, kami keluarkan 35. Kami terima 30 saja. Okay. Lepas tu ada pecahan-pecahan dia. Alright. Okay, so ni borang 755, kira-kira kertas undi selepas peti undi pos dibuka. Okay, so ini akan mereka akan kira tau berapa sampul A. Kadang-kadang ada terima sampul A kosong pun ada, sampul A ditolak pun ada, dan ini ada formula dia masing-masing lah. Ini untuk buku kira-kira, dia macam pengganti kepada borang 13. Ini pasal tu proses dia kat sini complicated sikit. Alright. Tata cara mengira sama. Same as undi awal dan undi biasa. Tak ada beza. Tak ada apa. Dia hanya akan label undi ditolak undi pos dan calon-calon undi pos. Itu saja. Tata cara semua sama. Alright. So macam mana mereka cara? First mereka kena tunjukkan dulang. Lepas tu potong telinga peti undi yang set ketiga tu. Lepas tu mereka akan isi borang 764. Ini borang awal. Okey, borang awal calon kawasan tersebut terima berapa-berapa, dan yang ni untuk mereka nak pastikan nak buat ulang kira atau tidak. Yes, undi pos boleh diulang kira. Sama juga macam undi awal dan undi biasa untuk saluran masing-masing. Undi pos adalah saluran dia sendiri. Okey. Dan macam hari pilihan raya biasa, kita dengar borang 14. Borang 14 tu itulah borang final tally per saluran. Untuk undi pos dia sama juga format, tapi dia panggil borang 15. Alright, sama saja. Format semua sama. Hanya dia nombor je lain, 14 dengan 15. Alright. So ini contoh yang kami dapat lah daripada PD, Bahagian Pinang. Okay, so last topic. Baru-baru ni ada permintaan, bukan permintaan lah. This is something that we also been looking forward. Bersih CSO and few us, including Tindak, we've been urging EC to expand postal voting. Saya pun dah terima beberapa ni, sudah approve ke apa ke, actually belum lagi approve, belum lagi mandat, belum lagi diwartakan. Okay, still ongoing process. Okay, there have been some headlines that, no, I wouldn't say mislead. Some headlines just outline saying that we, the NGOs, are outlining, asking this. A lot of people don't read the whole news. Straight away they assume, oh, sudah approve. How? Please read the whole news lah. Okay. So dalam case ni, the group expanding the postal word, we have noticed something. No need to do any major requirement or any amendment on any law. So in a way, tak perlu bawa pergi parliament. I mean, technically speaking lah. Then second, expanding postal word require no element, but this is by New Savvy, by Wipes. Okay, can declare. AC actually automatic, can buka the portal and say those who are residing outside of Sabah. Okay. And for FMT also say the same thing. No changes on the constitution whatsoever, nothing. Just that EC can tambah the subcategories, tambah the one more category saying that I would say overseas lah. Those what about overseas? I mean, what about those Sabahans in Sarawak? So that's not overseas, but they are very far away. So should also expand to that. So this is what we think lah. All right. So buat masa ni, that's all my presentation for today. So if I may look for some questions, hold on I minta maaf
Suresh, no, no,
sangat-sangat
we will
because
do
took
it.
so long.
Suresh, don't answer the questions. I will step in.
Ah,
Okay.
all right.
Thank you very much, Suresh, for the presentation. So there's a couple of things I need to clarify. Okay. I would like to inform everyone um, that there was a law change that took place in 2024 about pertaining about the absent voter, Undi tidak hadir. Okay, so let me allow me to share my screen.
Danish, meanwhile, can I type the answers in the chat group?
No,
Just
no,
ask.
don't. You type later. I want because I'm going to read out the questions because it's
Right.
not for them to read, but we placed it on YouTube live stream.
Hmm.
I hope everyone is able to see my screen. So this is the Gazette. So there were some changes to the registration of electors where you have the term absent voters being defined, right? So they have made some changes of A, B, C, D, E, and F, that areas. So what is this A, B, C, D, E, F? And most importantly is this part, memotong perangkat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly show you this document. It's in the pendaftaran pemilih. Okay. What is dipotong? This is yang berkhidmat dalam perkhidmatan awam kerajaan Malaysia, kerajaan mana-mana negeri, atau berkhidmat dalam perkhidmatan mana-mana pihak berkuasa tempatan, who is outside, right? So what has happened is those overseas civil servants, the spouses, the students, the spouses of the students, they are no longer categorized as absent voter. That means that option for automatic right of postal vote has been taken out. They are given instead via 1B. So this is what Global Bursar has informed me. The other thing is I was told also by Global Bursar for the Saksi address, the latest info we have is that it should be the address and contact details where the Saksi can be contacted in case of any discrepancies. Okay, so I just want to read that aloud so that everyone on the Zoom, on YouTube, is able to hear this very clearly. Okay, so I will stop my sharing and we will start the Q&A session. I know there are some questions that have been asked already. So what I'll do, I'm going to read aloud the questions that was initially dropped. Then we will go through the verbal section of the questions, okay? Okay. What if, so first question, this is from Faris, the Pemerhati of Tindak, Malaysia. What if the absent voter in Malaysia during elections, example for holiday, can they vote in the constituency? Let me see what. In their constituency in person. The absent voter is in Malaysia during elections. Let's say on holiday. Can the person vote in the constituency in person? Suresh?
Technically speaking, your name will appear on the electoral roll. Let's say you are coming, you kebetulan you balik, then then tengok election already announced, you already here, already paid all the tickets, cannot go back in time. You can't vote you cannot go to your saluran and vote. Your name will be in the electoral roll in your saluran, but it will be labeled as PP, pengundi post. So any voter that comes in and the crani notice that, hey, next to your name has this label called pengundi post, you will not be given a ballot paper because you already registered either you registered on your own or you automatically registered as a pengundi post. Technically, you already received your ballot paper via post, so you can't vote. We have a couple of these cases before. So you paling if you ask me lah, I mean I'm not saying I'm giving you a solution or whatever, but paling senang, let's say you balik already, I'm here for my semester break and so on and everything. But then next thing you know, Sabah decided to do election. Get someone from there, deliver the sample kutaman to you, then you can do your due diligence, walk into your RO office and drop in your sample B into the ballot box. You can do that. But you can't walk in and vote on election day. Right, and then
Jan is asking, we have the slides. I think at this point, I have to discuss with Suresh because we need to update some of the information. Who can be Saksi? Who can be Saksi, Suresh? What is the
who
detailed
can be
criteria?
Saksi? I think someone already answered that question.
But I
Jocelyn,
think you need to verbalize it
Jocelyn,
for.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jolene. That's actually that's quite an accurate answer. Okay, who can be Saksi? Anyone who's 18 years and above who are eligible voters, Malaysian. Must be Malaysian because the borang tu ask for IC number. So 18 tahun dan ke atas, warga negara Malaysia.
Okay, next question.
So can be family member, friends ka, strangers ka, jiran ka, or your colleague, but must be Malaysian lah.
What was the reason for changes made to the absent voter category? We are referring to the deletion of
This is the
that
new one, right?
four, yeah, subcategories, you know.
Hmm.
Do you
So
know?
that part maybe Danish you can take over because I understand why they changed. It's just that I haven't been updated the last 3 days punya meeting.
Honestly, I do not know why they changed it. Because I remember, particularly for the students one in 2022, there's a huge uproar that one of the students said, I already in Malaysia, but I didn't get my vote because I'm listed as though an absent voter
Hmm.
in my overseas country. And I believe that person want to do some fasting as a as a strike or anything like that. But the point is, at that time, there was a clear issue that if you are a student overseas and you have been classified an absent voter, when you come back, do you actually inform the ministry or do you inform the SPR, right? So that's the thing, because if not from SPR's perspective, it's relying on the Ministry of Higher Education, for example, right? That student happens to be overseas. So that person is then at that time eligible automatically. So one of the very important aspects, absent voters is automatic. We are postal voter. So if you ask me, that seems to be the case for particularly for the
Yeah,
student.
that's the status quo lah.
Yeah, but that's for the students. Then we are talking about that spouse of the student. I think you can lump in the same together. But as particularly the civil servants overseas, I'm not sure why they decided to move it across.
I think it's still the
Okay,
same.
next should be the okay. Now
Yeah.
the other question is, can those okay? Now we talk about. Let's go back to the Saksi. Okay, let's say the Saksi. Okay, yes, it met all the criteria you mentioned. What happened if the Saksi has a criminal record, a bankruptcy? Does it affect?
I got asked this question to SPR before
Hmm.
before I did ask one of the PPs in the PJ one of the PROs in PJ and everything. They said as long as IC boleh.
Yeah.
Bankrupt, okay. If you're bankrupt, you can be a voter, you can be saksi. That one no issue. Criminal
Hmm.
record. Those with criminal record convicted for the heavy crimes under Act 5 and under Act 10 something, pernah masuk lockup, benar lockup, penjara, lockup is different. I also masuk lockup many times. Pernah masuk penjara and served your time, you cannot vote until you've been certain offenses. You have to clear how many years, then you can become a voter or something like that. I'm not very clear about that. But kalau ada pernah masuk penjara and so on, you are not eligible to become a voter. But as a saksi, you I asked SPR, I think I need to make another point to ask SPR again. Because you masuk penjara, serve their sentence and come out, you still have your IC number. Only your IC status will change. So that part we need to check. Thank you, Jen. Very interesting question.
Yeah. So bankrupt can okay, so long you meet the criteria.
Bankrupt kan? Bankrupt boleh jadi voter, tak ada hal. So once you can,
And sorry, Saksi
if
as a
you're voter, then
Saksi.
you're eligible to become a
Yeah.
saksi lah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's the difference between that and standing for candidate. Okay, so now we have gone through all the written questions. Now it's a time to verbalize your questions. So what I need or everyone to do, for those who have questions, please raise your hands. Then I'll ask you to unmute, and then please proceed. asking your question. Please be very specific. Seem very silent. Anyone has questions? Okay, so while we are waiting for questions to come through, I would like to inform you we actually have a Buku Panduan Undi post, but it will be updated in light of the certain changes that taken place due to the absent category changes and other matters. So we will update you via our social media pages or via email, i.e. through the calendar invite once the book has been updated. Hopefully it can be done before the nomination day takes place. So Suresh, I'm curious nowadays posts because the thing is historically speaking, before G14, poster votes unfortunately had a very bad reputation. And now that we're in a very different
Yes,
era
especially
where
with the
poster yeah. Now that it's post G14, in your observation, your understanding, do you think the Pachas today takes a bit more different view about poster votes? Sorry, agent only post. Sorry, agent only post. How do they view poster votes? Whether not like are they still very suspicious about it, or they are just like, okay, this is the process. I trust the process, and let's move on.
one thing I noticed, talking about GE15,
Hmm.
GE15 was one of it. I mean, of course, the stories that we hear from GE13 and prior, GE14, we were given the opportunity. A lot of bigger constituencies, they ROs gave prior, let's say priority, they gave us access, they gave us our rights to be there when the issuing of ballot paper happened, I think. So the confidence started to build from there. But again, what about those who are outer in skeptical areas and everything? I still hear stories that, oh, I didn't receive my ballot paper, but somehow or other someone said the ballot paper has been issued, so and so on and everything. Well, we also must understand. I mean, we also must understand that, like what Danish has brought up at the beginning of the this webinar today, the majority of the Pungundi posts consists of Petugas, the 1A. These are the people who are there at the constituencies and everything. So are they trustable, or these are the people who are handling the pengundi, the pengeluaran and penerimaan and processing the pengundi post, and they themselves are voters there themselves, I think. Um, basically now to do hanky panky a bit susah because a lot of ROs know the rights of agents, the rights of candidates, the rights of Pemerhati. So basically, is because they process so many things for the hanky panky to jalan also be susah. It's not actually not easy to do the hanky panky. I'm not saying it happened. I'm not vouching for anything. I'm just saying that hearsays of the hanky pankies these days kalau nak buat a bit susah because now we notice a lot of. I mean, we can be satisfied lah. We can be satisfied. But if we can come into confidence now thing, I still hear even after GE15, people are still sharing saying that uh, I don't have any proof, I don't have any documentation whatsoever. I think people are just saying that not sure lah. This one don't know. They say they pengeluar, but I also heard among themselves they so-called keluar, they mark and then they put themselves back in the ballot box. You know those kind of things. So public confidence, well, it all goes back to SPI and RO, how they allowing. I mean, why not just open up and say, hey, I already called the chalun to come and witness. Chalun didn't come. So at least, I'm not saying that RO not doing their work. RO doing their work. SPI also doing their work. But they're also not telling, oh, I already invited this chalun or this agent, but they didn't come. At least protect both sides.
And also
That's
like to
my
inform
view.
you everyone that since 2018, the expansion of the Pemerhati program has resulted that more NGOs are able to observe the different facets of election, of which includes the postal vote. So not only are the agent only
Yes.
posts going to be there to monitor the elections, particularly for postal vote, there's Pemerhatis who are going to observe. We have sent our Pemerhatis before to observe the process, and so far was straightforward and no issues at this given point of time. Okay. The other thing I want to ask you while I wait for others, I highly recommend that all of you, if you have questions, this is the time you to raise your hands and verbalize instead of writing it down. Is this is very specific for domestic postal voters, especially for the Petugas, right? From your experience, because you have served as KTM before and everything, what's your experience of? Did you have any relevant experience, or you know of experiences of others of doing this Petugas as a postal vote? As in, like, how fast did you receive it? Did you get enough time to mark your ballots and submit it back?
For those, okay, if we're talking about the progress, from when they started introducing this Undi post, when they started to open the overseas voters and everything, there were a lot of complication, plenty. Even registration of the website when SPR first opened the website for registration and everything, people only had very limited time or very short window for them to register and everything. So many people didn't get the chance to become Pengundi Post, that GE14, I think. All right. But after that, any by-elections that happened after GE14, and we saw the biggest improvement that happened in GE15, where the number of complaints went down very significant compared to GE14. But GE14, I have to give credit to the NGOs. The NGOs who helped out, who organized to bring the ballot paper back on their behalf. That one actually helped a lot. And I think SPR saw their blunder, and SPR noticed the mistakes they did and everything. But nevertheless, Malaysians being Malaysians, kenal tak kenal, as long you're Malaysians, you pass your ballot paper to me, I bring it back or I get someone to send to you. And that effort compared to G15, and of course G15 had much more numbers of Pengundi posts, but the number of complaints has reduced in sense of receiving the ballot paper. That's why we saw in G15 some of our friends shared, hey, I received my ballot paper in DHL, I received my ballot paper in FedEx, I received my, some even say, even the local, the Petugas, the PGA and stuff like that, I terima my ballot paper with JNT, those kind of things. So they have ventured instead of depending on Post Malaysia. I mean, I'm not saying Post Malaysia are slow, just that probably they are limited resources when handling such a huge logistics and a very tight schedule election frame. So, as in sense of, but I still hear GE15. My ballot paper tak match my borang two. My ballot paper didn't match my borang sample A. Those still get lah once in a while. That one I think unavoidable. But other than that, improvement of delivery and receiving, much has improved. So the only main thing that people talk about, and I think, is just that duration. But I noticed a lot of people, even far rural overseas, manage to get their ballot paper in. But again, those who are working far rural in don't have any Malaysian as a saksi. So that's the only issue lah. Other than that, I think quite a vast improvement lah.
Okay, I'll read out this. This is an experience um, of one of our Petugas candidates who served as a KTM for G15. From my experiences in G15 as KTM, the postal ballot was issued on Monday and reached my IC address on Wednesday via Post Laju. Plenty of time to send it back to the Dewan Civic MPPJ. Okay, next question. I believe it's a question from Subra. Can overseas voter vote allowed to vote online in our digital era? Why they still have to fill papers and post it?
This one, you and me kalau answer pun a bit need to be very careful. Well, current law, this is the law. Law says you must be either receive the physical ballot paper and return it, or you come and vote at the voting station. Come online or digital voting. Even, a lot of countries, people already doing electronic voting and stuff, something like that. For example, India, a couple of years ago, India started this isolated voting, meaning if you, let's say, for example, I use that as a Malaysia, it's like instead of you depending on postal votes, for example, right now, we're talking about the Sabah PRN, which is coming up. And we are insisting, what about those Sabahans, I mean, can't go back to work. Of course, we understand. Malaysian Airlines expensive. They're not cheap. So you can't go back. You can't decide. And by the time you reach there, you want to save money and go there. Like everything is gone. So what India started something is that instead you go back and vote, or instead you register as a postal vote, do isolated voter. So in KL, for example, you set up some form of like what do you call because India practice electronic voting makes things much more easier. So what they did was they set up in KL. I'm just using KL as an example. For example, they set up a voting center in KL. Let's say, for example, SPR HQ in Putrajaya. Then, because India practices electronic voting, those who are in Sabah here can go to Putrajaya on election day. Has to be on election day, not on on election day. Cast your ballot paper via electronic. Cast your ballot paper via electronic. Okay. Then all this will tally back in the main tally center back in your hometown in Sabah. So India actually tried that out and they said it actually worked. But they only did a pilot in few states. They didn't do the whole place. So I'm still waiting for the report to come out. They haven't finalized the report yet because the election just happened not too long ago. So I thinking more aligned into that way instead of because anything you do online, even though our cybersecurity quite and everything, I still don't trust even in any country also lah. Cybersecurity is something that cannot be said. So, but electronic voting because it's not online, it's all stored. It's not connected to any form of telecommunication line or whatever. I think it's processed there itself. So that's my opinion on it. So going back to Subra's question, unfortunately, no, you still have to mark a ballot paper. That's the law. Thank you.
That's the law, right? That's what's happening. But okay, I understand about the whole question about allowed to vote online in a digital era. That I mean, the question is framed from the point of view of access to voting. But I think we need to understand access to voting is part of the voting. The other part is how do you ensure the integrity of the voting? How, like for example, you do on online. What in the current system we have, let's say the agent only post, if it is for ordinary vote, early vote, you have the pachas, so you have others and plus observers to observe how it is done. There's a elements of integrity while monitoring and observing. So like I'm aware in certain countries they go a mixture of either you go completely online or mixture of electronic plus physical, whichever combination it may be. So I think for those who wants to talk about these forms of voting, you need to answer this question. I'm going to pose that question back to you. Like, what is the measures of integrity? Okay, I'm not asking you to answer here right now, but that's for you to think about it. Okay, so let me go through. Sorry, I think. Okay, we will allow Nirmala to say something because she wanted to raise her hand, but the function is not working. So Nirmala, please unmute your microphone.
Yeah, hi, and thank you very much. It was very interesting, the presentation. It's interesting to see what happens to the postal ballots when it arrives in Malaysia or before it leaves Malaysia, because we only see the part when it arrives to us at home in overseas. And I just like to address the online voting issue because it's something that Global Bersih has been working on for some time, and we've been pushing for online voting. I think we started from 2018 and slowly we've given up because we noticed that, just as Danish said, the trust factor is a problematic when it comes to online voting, because to be able to have one of the there's only one country in East Europe that has done online voting successfully. But it's a country that has a very new democracy. That means they don't have a long history of elections or cheating in elections, or it's a very new election commission. And so that also played a role. So I think for Malaysia to get into online voting, there's a lot of issues that needs to be worked out, especially the trust issue from an election management body. And also for the overseas voters, it sounds like an easy solution, might be, but the voters education. At the moment, we have very little voters education for overseas Malaysians, which is not done by the Wisma Putra or the EC. So all that needs to be done before a system like an online system comes in. So for now, it's not a good solution. Maybe in the future, it's something that we should look into and work with for maybe in 20 years or so, but now it's not the solution that we can look into. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. But just to let everyone know, we in Tindak has actually, for us, we did, as one of our long-term proposal is to do a trial for like an online or electronic version of postal voting, but strictly only for overseas Malaysians. But that is a proposal. Whether it gets implemented, it's a longer term. Because we in Tindak, we have a lot of us who had strong arguments against it. So the conversations were heated about this. So this is why we are quite hesitant on this part. Even we say, if the trial for anything like this, we're only going to restrict it for overseas Malaysians, not for domestic case like domestic outstation Sabahans. We wouldn't consider that. Okay, we have 7 more minutes to go. Anyone has any questions, please verbalize or raise your hands. Okay, if that is done, Suresh, do you have any concluding remarks or anything that we have missed out or because of the time limits for presentation that you want to share?
Actually, not much. I think I shared whatever basic necessary. I just need to know who's going to become Petugas for the upcoming Sabah election. Anyone here? Anyone here?
That would be Christy, Martin, Stuart John. Yeah, you're all that.
So if you guys can hear me, the names that Danish has mentioned, have you guys asked your ROs how's your postal ballots application is going to be? Either online or...
Can the Petugas candidates of
Christy is
Sabah?
here, Martin is here.
Yeah.
So
My understanding is
Christy
it's
and
online.
Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My understanding, okay, well, I see whether they can unmute their microphones. Let me see what was mentioned. I believe it's like everyone is go through the My SPR website. Those who are Petugas candidates or Sabah, please unmute your microphone. My understanding is they apply through My SPR and they get an email saying that whether they have been approved, right? And that's what has happened. Okay, sorry, I think I need to read a question out. Yes, since 2023, 6 state elections application for postal ballot is via for 1A, which is like the Petugas, is online via My SPR.
That's status quo lah. Status quo lah.
Yes, status quo. Yeah, I don't think so. Things have changed.
Meaning, no, yeah, ever since 2003, it's still the same.
Yeah,
No changes till now.
Okay, so I think it's already 4 minutes left to go. I think if there is no further questions, we will call it for a day. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending today's session. Attendance have been taken. Please stay tuned for our next webinar, which is on 5th of November. Same speaker, Suresh. This time we'll talk about Undi Hour. So we're going through Undi Post, Undi Hour, and we will let you know if we do webinars pertaining to Undi Biasa and also the role of Pemerhatis. Okay, because we are preparing primarily our Petugas and any associated Pemerhati people for the coming Sabah state elections. We will be in touch with you via email, or please follow us on social media. All the links have been given via the Zoom chat. If you wish to watch again this, please do visit our YouTube channel. This has been live streamed. Okay, today is the first time we have pivoted away from FB live stream to YouTube live stream. So we want to have at least this video there for the longer term. Unlike right now, the Facebook policy no longer allows this. So with that, thank you very much, everyone. I'm very happy that there's more people who showed up than what is indicated on the calendar. So have a good night and see you soon.